And welcome, Chicago sports fans, to another electrifying episode of Chicago Sports on Tracks. I'm your host of the most, Brandon Tracks Hiatt, and ready to break down the wins that rocked our city yesterday. Today, the Cubs, White Sox, and Bulls all brought the heat and style. And joining me in the building, in the studio, is none other than Matt, the American radio DJ, Matt Cooper. Matt, how's it going, buddy?
Dude, I'm good, man. It's good to be here with you, man. The two OGs in the house today, huh?
Yeah, man. You know what, dude? It's always a privilege to work with you in the building. And, here as Chicago has showed us the world what they're made of, finally, the passion, the grit that they displayed tonight, we're going to dive deep into every play and every stat, man. And I can't think of no one else greater than you to break all this down. So in today's show, we'll be covering all of the Cubs' comeback magic to the White Sox dominating pitching and even the Bulls' epic buzzer beater that stunned the NBA world. Plus, later on, I'll be sharing a highlight video montage that brings together the best moments from all three teams. So buckle up. This is going to be a 1 hour roller coaster of numbers, analytics, and pure Chicago heart. So let's kick things off with the Chicago Cubs jaw-dropping 10-6 win over the Arizona Diamondbacks in a game where every at-bat counted. Our boys delivered. Leading the charge, well, my boys, was Miguel Amaya, who not only went 3 for 5, but ignited the offense with 2 key doubles in the third and 7 innings. So, like I said, he went 3 for 5, 5 RBIs, and 2 doubles. The analytics show that Amaya's batting average in high leverage situations shot up an impressive .375, an absolute game changer. And left-hander Justin Steele, he pitched 5 solid innings, surrendering just 3 runs while throwing over 90 pitches. Our advanced metrics point to a 92% ground ball rate, forcing the Diamondbacks into unfavorable at-bats. Matt, what do you got to say about those numbers?
You know what was also very impressive? Yeah, I think Miguel Amaya is going to be a key to this team this year too, by the way. Especially, I love that 2-run double that he hit. I think it was down to the left field line. It was a little bit later in the game where they increased the lead a little bit more, but it was a beautiful hit. But how about all the walks that the Cubs had yesterday? And even with some of their hitters not getting some of the big hits, but they were taking the walks. And I feel like with that game yesterday, Tracks, and you could see where I'm going at. I think they had Craig Counsell's name all over that. I felt like that was like his way of winning a baseball game yesterday between the walks and coming up with some of them timely hits.
Like discipline, is that what you're talking about? Like he enforced the discipline and the structure to make sure that they don't reach. Is that kind of where you're going?
Yeah, because I was kind of looking at the numbers yesterday. It was pretty crazy, but like Swanson 0 for 5. Happ did have a couple of hits. Tucker 1 for 5. Suzuki 1 for 5. And Bush with a couple of hits. But the key, I thought, was the walks and getting in those runs in a timely manner like that. And I thought that was about as impressive as anything. And if the Cubs could play like that, and then they could start getting on fire with some of the hitting, some of the hitting starts developing here throughout the season, I think this could be a team, man. I think this could be the team that we're all excited for.
Absolutely, Matt. It wasn't just about the big hits, and I agree with what you said wholeheartedly. It was the underlying stats that set the tone, like you said, watching the walks and all that kind of stuff and bad integrity, discipline, and all that. The Cubs offense scored 6 runs and just 12 hits overall, a sign of efficiency and precision. And let's not forget outfielder Ian Happ, the Golden Glove, explosive 2-run homer in the 5th inning, which lifted the team's morale and pushed the win probability curve significantly in Chicago's favor. So, like I said, with Happ's exit velocity clocked at 112 miles an hour, bro, faster than my vehicle can run, dude. Well, I mean, I might be able to get up there, but I ain't going to say it on air. And if I did, the wheels might be shaking. You know what I'm saying?
No, you could go ahead and say it.
It's like I said, it's one of the fastest in the league, and a team WRC plus up by over 30 points compared to their season average. The numbers speak for themselves. Getting right into what you were talking about, man. I tell you what, the fans got to be excited. I mean, just a baseball enthusiast and just being in Chicago, you got to be excited about that. But shifting gears, man. let's shift some gears over to the South Side.
Oh,
Chicago White Sox, man. Now I'm speaking your love language, aren't I, buddy?
you saw the big smile on my face, didn't you? I'm excited now.
Yeah, he's proud Papa wearing his Sox hat, man. Just went to the game, got to be able to see it firsthand. So I'm glad we got you in the building, and that was one of the main things, I was thinking of when you said you were going. I'm like, let's cook if he has time, because I know when you pull up into town, you got family and friends that are just like excited to see the American DJ.
I think they're excited to see me. But Trex, you know what's cool about yesterday, man?
What's that,
Listen, we
buddy?
know what the White Sox are this year. We know they're not going to be very good. They're trying to
Yep.
get their young guys up this year, and
Yep.
that's what the season's about. But that atmosphere at the game, just because I was
Oh,
sitting in the lower level, I was sitting in 116. I was pretty much up there. The
yeah.
atmosphere of the game, you would have never have known like people were expecting this team to lose that many games because it was electric in there. Like people were booing, like they were getting crazy
Yeah.
with the home runs and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it kind of felt like an an August game, like an August or September game, like they were trying to fight for the playoffs, and this was game
Playoff
number one.
baseball.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, it just caught me off guard a little bit. Now it wasn't sold out. There was still some empty seats. There was you could expect a team losing 121 games last year, but I got to give the fans credit for that game yesterday, man, because they were into
Yeah.
that, and it was pretty powerful.
Yeah. No, I saw it when I was watching, the game and all that, looking through, and like you said, pictures from friends on, social media and all that, everybody chiming in and getting excited about it. And I'm like, wow, this is part. And the players, make no mistake about it, they feel that energy. They've been thirsty for it. It's been so long. Finally, you get to play at the homestand. And, these young players, they don't think about what happened last year. A lot of them weren't even here last year, much less the coaches. So they, eyes forward, not looking back, big vision. Like you said, August, September, they probably felt that. And, it's a good way to start out. I wish the Cubs would have been able to start out that way, but hey, they're returning the favor. They smacked the other cheek. Like I said, now it's game 4. So, now it's 1-2, they're down, but Sox are starting off in a great way, man, at guaranteed rate field. They dismantled the Los Angeles Angels 8-1. Sean Burke, after a shaky start in the first inning, settled into a masterclass of pitching, man. Oh my gosh. Over
He,
4
he was
hitless
fantastic.
frames. Yeah.
And I think it was
Yeah.
to your point, Trex, to your point too. You said, yeah, because you could tell probably a little bit of the nerves in the first inning, but once he
Uh-huh.
settled down, he looked great. His command was right there. And I even looked in the fifth inning, and I'm like, man, this game's going by so fast. What's his pitch count? I think his pitch count was only at like 51 or 52 pitches by the fifth inning. That's how good his stuff was yesterday. And that's something to look forward to. I mean, this is what we're going to be talking about, the White Sox. Who are these players that we think we're going to be looking forward to? Some of the players
Yeah.
that we think we're going to be trading at the deadline, and some of these young guys that are going to be coming up. Like that's what we've got to look forward to now on the South Side, man. And that was a good way to start it off.
Yeah, when that's what I like about, and you get to see what you got when a guy I kind of like that. I mean, you would always want them to start out good, but when they start out shaky in the first inning and then they answer back, like I said, 4 hitless frames. That's very impressive. Uh his control, he boosted a 95% first pitch strike percentage. So the first pitch was a strike 95% of the time, and a whip dipping below 1.1 by the 4th inning. That's a masterclass pitching, man. Unbelievable. So, I mean, don't overlook the offensive explosion where you got Austin Slater solo home
Yeah.
run in the 2nd inning that set the tone. And then Lenyn Sosa, I'm not sure if he's related to Sammy, but it's a pretty cool last name. And with his late run boost that sealed the deal. And our data shows that Sosa's launch angle was a perfect 28 degrees, a true sweet spot for maximum power and trajectory. So these are very good things that you could look forward to and help you have some hope and be excited about the season. Well, how do you feel about that, Matt? Are you excited about the season?
Oh, dude, I'm excited. I was already looking at ticket prices for tomorrow's game. I'm like, depending on the weather, I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I just gotta I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep an eye out for that. So I'll wait till the
Yeah.
morning. But here's another thing to keep in mind too, Tracks.
Yeah.
Some of these guys like Luis Robert, Andrew Vaughn, even Andrew Benintendi, who hit a home run yesterday. He crushed that ball. Hit a bomb yesterday. Some of these guys are going to probably be trade bait by the middle of the year. So I think it's important for some of these guys, some of these veterans like a Robert, like a Benintendi, to get off to a good start and go out there and play every day and show what they got, because those are chips that they could be moved here by the middle of the season. And if they start well and play well and look like
Yeah.
they can go out there and be for some winning contender by July, I think that could be a good opportunity for the White Sox to strike on those trades.
You know, Matt, I have to agree with you, but we got to be careful about that too now, because not everybody can be a young stud, coming out of AAA, coming out of college, 22, 24, 25 years old. You've got to have some of those guys. And, like I said, you said it, you touched on it earlier too. The contributions from Andrew Benintendi and Miguel Vargas rounded out the attack, man. Collective OPS soaring above 1.00 for the day. The Sox demonstrated that every swing was calculated and explosive. The Angels hitters, meanwhile, they struggled mightily with their OPS dipping to a dismal .650 mid-game, man. That's freaking awful, dude. That's terrible, Matt.
Well,
This game wasn't just a win, it was a statement, dude. The White Sox proved that when Chicago's in town, precision and passion go hand in hand. So, I mean, really, with your home stand coming out, hitting strong, playing strong, pitching strong, something to be hopeful for, and you can build off of that, right, Matt?
yeah, there's a couple of things I'd like to add to that too. There's a guy you
Yeah.
brought up in Miguel Vargas. Vargas was the guy that we got last year from Michael Kopech with that deal with the Dodgers, and he kind of struggled when he got up there. But this
Yeah.
spring, he's had a very good spring, and he had a couple of hits yesterday. And I think that's a guy that's going to be a key player going forward for the White Sox. So that's one of those guys that you want to see develop. That's one of those guys you want to see progress a little bit more there at third base. Not very often, by the way, too. You see a guy like him, third baseman batting in the leadoff spot. But
Bro.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of his. And then it's going to be interesting in the American League this year, because if we think the White Sox are going to be bad, the Angels are probably going to be right there with them. This is a good way to start the season, because the Angels aren't going to be very good this year. Or
Yeah.
that's all the projections that I've read so far. They're expecting the Angels and the White Sox to be the two worst teams in the American League. And watching them yesterday, man, I'm like, boy, that lineup's pretty. They got Mike Trout and they got Jorge Soler, and that's about it, man. And I don't know what they're going to be like. So I think I'm very happy that the White Sox are opening up against them, because if we're going to at least get some wins or make things exciting in the beginning of the year, at least it's going to be a team like that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you have to do your due diligence to play those guys that you're going to be competing with, throughout the season, and playing them the most, out of any other major league team. I mean, it's a rivalry, regardless of where you're projected. And listen, a lot of it, makes sense in the numbers. Sometimes they're right on. And then there's other times where the numbers are off, and all you can hope for is to build off of this. And, hey, listen, let's talk about 1-0.
That's how I'm celebrating today, man. 1-0. And one more thing, man, we got to give the man. I really like the Will Venable, the White Sox manager they hired this year.
Yeah.
Former player that was a good player too, a very good player for many years. He was on the Cubs staff for a couple of years in 2017, 2018. He was on the Rangers staff with Bruce Bochy, so he's got a lot of winning in him, especially in his managerial career. Going training with Joe Madden, training with Bruce Bochy. So this guy's ready to go, man. And you could already tell, even watching some of the spring games, man, like this team's going to be out there ready to play with a lot of energy and passion. Like they might not have the players, they might not be very good this year, but I'm interested to see how this Venable hire is going to be, because so far I've liked everything I've seen from him. I know it's really early, and I might try to get too over the top here about it, but I'm pretty excited to see what this manager can do with this team.
I think it's about growth and development. I don't think it's time to get excited about or get just keep grounded about this, but don't start counting losses before they even show up. Enjoy the victory, enjoy the win, and savor it and just live in the moment, because eventually the losses will come and then you'll be like, man, I already took care of that and I'm going to take care of it again.
It'll be in August. That'll be in August. Hey, Tracks, before I know as we we'll talk about the White Sox. I got to say this though.
Yeah, please.
One of the biggest applause yesterday was Derrick Rose throwing the first pitch of the game. Derrick Rose came out there, who just retired. Legend
Yeah.
of Chicago came out through the first pitch, dude. Crowd went nuts, man. They were going crazy. There was MVP chants, man. Like, it was just being a diehard Chicagoan, man, and just being from Chicago. That was really, really cool to see, man. Derrick Rose. You couldn't ask for somebody better to come out and throw the first pitch than him.
You know what? I have to agree with that. It's in our highlight video that we got later on. Also, when Tim Anderson steps on deck, for him to get that, the respect, and everything. And they showed him the roses and all that stuff. That was good, man. I like that. It was very classy.
Yohan Moncada did not get a very good reception, man. He got booed.
I'm trying to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative.
There's
and
2
I'm
and
the
1
Cubs
negative.
fan over here. I'm the Cubs fan over here. I couldn't be doing the opposite.
I'm not being negative. I'm just saying that's what I'm just telling you. I'm reporting what I saw there, man, and it didn't go well when he came to the plate.
No, you definitely did. You definitely did, for sure. Rightfully so. Now let's change gears and switch over to something that we all can celebrate. No matter how big the rivalry is from north and south side, we have our very own NBA team, and it's not split, the Chicago Bulls. And oh my, you want to talk about a game for the ages. You want to talk about celebrating a trade where we're like, well, upper management, upper brass, they can't do nothing right. I think it's a little early, but after last night, I'm going to say that I think they got it right. And we're going to dive into this and pack into it all of the good stuff. And the highlight video is electric. So let's hit the hardwood, man. The Chicago Bulls pulled off an awe-inspiring 119-117 victory over the Los Angeles Lakers. Trailing by 18 points in the fourth quarter, you felt like, well, we're right back to where we thought they were. Okay? And I'll tell you what, the Bulls clawed their way back into contention with just 12.6 seconds remaining and the score tied at 15-15. The stage was set for an unforgettable climax, man. And I'm going to tell you what, in a sequence destined for highlight reels, man, it was destined. Patrick Williams, I never thought that I would even say that man's name in a positive manner. He knocked down a clutch three-pointer to level the score. Then in a play that will be dissected for years, Josh Giddey, he got intercepted. He intercepted a crucial pass from LeBron James. That was a key point. He intercepted it. It wasn't like it was a pass coming into him, whatever. He forced it, the turnover, guys. With the clock winding down, Giddey launched a half-court bomb, a shot with a launch angle of 47 degrees that defied the odds. Matt, talk up to us about how magical that shot was, man.
Well, first off, I'm a little angry today because when I was at the Sox game yesterday, I was looking at StubHub and Ticketmaster to go to the Bulls game, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to pay. I'm good. I'll just go home, hang out and stuff like that. And I'm watching that, and I'm like, God, I cannot.
Oh, you could have got a 2-for-1 while you're in hometown.
I was so, dude, I'm still bitter about that. I'm still pissed off about that I didn't go to that game. Here's the key to me, man. First off, Josh Giddey. Now, I think it's safe to say that we won that trade with Alex Caruso. I think we won that trade, man, because I think he's been fantastic for this team this year. He's averaging about 14 points a game, seven rebounds, 7 assists, and he's just been so clutch, man. And he's just a good, gritty player. He's the type of guy that you want on your team, and type of guy you want when you're trying to build something. So I think the key, you said it, Trax. The key to me yesterday was, what was LeBron doing there, man, with that turnover? That's something you don't see very often from a Hall of Fame, a future Hall of Famer like himself, man. For that turnover, that was a crucial turnover to turn that ball over like that. So they knock down the 3, they go down, they basket. Josh Giddey, I felt like he had to like set. Like you look after the game, he talked a little bit about it, and you could tell how he was laughing and smiling and stuff. But like, I almost felt the way that was something he's practiced before. Maybe not to that angle where he was at, but the way he launched that ball, I watched that video about 4 or 5 times, man, over and over again. And the way he just launched that ball with that angle on it to get it right into the hoop like that, man, it's unbelievable. Like, how can you not watch that and say, how the hell did that happen? And I think it's just to the credit to what type of player that guy is and the way that guy plays, man. I'm a huge Giddey fan.
I am too, man. It was crazy. And the crazy thing about all this is the advanced tracking data revealed that the probability of making that buzzer beater was less than 2%. It marked Giddey's 5th triple-double of the season as he finished with a triple-double, 25 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. And with Kobe White scoring 26 points, the Bulls delivered a performance for ages, bro. It wasn't just about the final shot. It was about the relentless comeback, tactical adjustments, and the unwavering beliefs that defined the entire game. The Bulls offense rating surged by 15 points in those final moments, man, proving that Chicago spirit can overcome even the toughest challenges, bro. What do you think about this, man?
I think I think if you've been watching Bulls basketball the last 3 to 4 weeks, man, this is the type of way they've been playing. They've been playing really fast. They're up tempo. I like the speed, the way they play with speed. And do you realize right now, man? So only about a little over a month ago, like we were shooting this team for death. Like they were out of it. Right now, they're the 9th seed. They're only about a game or so behind the Magic, which they can easily get right there with them for these play-in games. Like they could get into this playoffs, man, and like I still think the 2 best teams in the East are Boston and Cleveland, and I think Cleveland is actually the best team in the East in general. But with the way they've been playing here the last couple weeks, this has given me like it's fun to watch, and it's giving you some excitement about possibly going into the playoffs, into the playoff game, and then what you could have back for next year instead of last year where we're all talking about, well, which guy are we going to trade or which guy, who do we need to get rid of? Is Zach LaVine going to be here? Well, now we kind of got our core here, dude. And it's going to be Josh Giddey that we're going to have to sign and try to get back with another contract, which I'm sure they will. But Kobe White, man, developing into a superstar. It's just, I've had a blast watching him the last few weeks, Tracks.
Yeah, I have too, man. It's been amazing. I've been excited about it. And I'll tell you what, I know for a fact that they're not going anywhere, right? But at the end of the day, it's just nice to be able to watch, some sort of like something that's got a little bit of, how do you say, like competition, that they're competing and that, they're playing basketball. You know what I mean? That they're not packing it in and just giving up and all of that. There's a lot of teams out there that are doing that. And a lot of people are complaining right now. They're saying, hey, why aren't they, just tanking? But even when you tank, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the player that you want and the player is going to translate. Listen, when you draft, it's just potential. It doesn't mean that they're going to be an NBA star. We've seen that before.
No, we have. And to your point, too, you could see it this year because Cooper Flagg is going to be the #1 pick. And you guys can watch him tomorrow night when Duke plays Alabama, but he's the best player in the country right now, and he's going to be the #1 pick. So a lot of these teams, they notice that, and they're trying. And you watch teams like the 76ers and some others that are trying to tank for that #1 pick, and you could officially say, no, the Bulls are out of it. We're not worried about this draft. You could completely put that to rest right now. Maybe that was a talk about 6 weeks ago where we were trying to do that. There he is, man. And that's just not the conversation anymore because the Bulls are in a really good, they're in a good position right now with the way they've been playing for this play-in game and for the playoffs. What is there? 8 games left, 9 games left, I think, in the season.
This tournament is so great, man. I'm still trying to, I'm Cooper Flagg, man. You hit me with the roadblock on that. I'm just like, I'm excited about tonight. And you know what? I'm excited about our new sponsor, Wanna Parlay. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's pause for a little break. Let's pause for a little commercial break. Hold on. The other side with Darius, we got some good stuff we want to ask him, continue on that question if he's disappointed about anything. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we want to bring to you our new proud sponsor, Wanna Parlay. These guys have been on this app and they are smoking it, man. They're having a good time. Sean, Darius, they love it, man. They get in there. It's only $2 to get in for a shot at taking home some huge cash bags. So listen up, guys. It's tournament time, and the new daily fantasy sports app we just found out about with the absolute largest payouts on parlays is called Wanna Parlay. WANNA, Wanna Parlay. I downloaded the Wanna Parlay app on my phone, and it's so much fun, guys. You can compete against me, Darius, Sean. I wouldn't recommend those guys, though. Come get me. Come take my money. Chicago sports podcast listeners, guys, to see who can combine a few picks and build the best parlay. They've even got a chat feature where we can trash talk and brag. And in the letterboard, it's got all our picks ranked, and everyone can see it. So if you stink like I do, you're really going to hear about it. But like I said, it's just $2 for a shot of taking home a huge cash prize. It's a blast. It's so simple to use. And there are new basketball, hockey, baseball, and combat sport contests every single week. Again, the best part, it's only $2. I want my $2 to enter a parlay into a contest. Plus, there's always a free-to-play games, too. It makes watching the craziness of the tournament and all sports so much more fun. Here's what you should do, guys. Just download the Wanna Play app. Click around. If you decide to upload money to play and get into action, use promo code CapBlocksTracks, TRACKS, for 100% deposit match for up to $250. Put in $20. They'll give you 20 more. How about that? So download the Wanna Parlay app, use promo code TRACKS, and let's play the world's richest parlay today. Must be 18 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today. That is our new friends, Wanna Parlay. Man, I'll tell you what. I'm so excited about it. It's a good time. I think, Matt, you just got into it too. And here's the deal. I want to share with you guys a little something. So that $250 can be a little tricky because some guys think you have to bet up to $250 and then they'll give it back. No. When you put in like a $10, you can put in as little as $2. But let's say you put in, and that's for like a pool. So it'd be like a bunch of guys get into a pool for Friday night only bets for like college basketball, the tournament, right? And the more times you win, let's say you do like a pick 4. Okay, boom, 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 boom. You get all 4 of them right. Now you've got a better chance of winning the total pot of like $2,000. And then from there, it drops all the way down to like $20 or something. You're going to pull away with something. And here's the deal. If you are riding high early, and then there's a mid, and then there's a night, put in $2 here, $2 there for double your chance, $2 here for triple your chance. I mean, you can go all the way up for just $2. So it's like $6 then a day, or just $2, walk away with a little something. Or you could go bet against the bet against the house, and then maybe $100 to 200, 250, 450, whatever it is. There's all different types of ways to win. It's fun. There's a smack board, like I said in the video earlier, where you could just talk trash. But getting back to that point, so if you put in like a minimum of like $10 is what they ask of you. You put in $10, you only see 5 being take away. So basically, for the first $250, it's 50% off. So it's great. So you put in, so really you're putting in $5 each time, that you put in like $10 or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Just enter that promo code TRACKS, TRACKS, and come get some of my money, man. Come get some of my money. Check it out. What do you got to say about that app, Matt?
I use it today, man. I'll tell you what, man. I was already looking for. I did one basketball tonight, and I did one baseball, and I did a pick 2. So I picked a game for Purdue. I picked Purdue to be a winner over Houston, which is it's going on a little bit of a limb there, because but I did that, and then I put it for a home run for Teoscar Hernandez for the Dodgers tonight as well.
Oh, okay. I see that. I'm gonna have to actually bring you in a little bit more about the baseball, because we need a little help with that. But because like I was talking to Dane from WGN, he was telling me, dude, there is a lot of ways to win on Major League Baseball when it comes to betting on this app. Like, there's a lot of money to be made. So it's pretty cool, man. I think his son's got into it, man, and his son does really good. He's been winning low level. He doesn't put a lot in, but he's won a lot. So I might start asking his son for advice, actually.
Yeah, man,
But
get that baseball advice, and it's just fun too, man. It gets you something to
yeah,
look forward to, and
yeah.
because now, like even tonight, I'll be out, hanging out with family, but I'll be looking at my phone, checking I'll be looking at that baseball game. I'll be looking at the scores of the basketball games and stuff. So
Mhm.
it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, now that I know that you've been in there, I got to go see if you left me a little something on the smack board.
Oh, dude, I don't talk smack. What are you talking about?
Hey, man, it's fun though. It's fun. It's
I
a
know.
fun smack board. So, like I said, let's take a deeper dive, Matt, into these stories. We're covering Chicago sports with an unrivaled passion. And tell me, how do you see these wins impacting the city's sports landscape moving forward, Matt?
I think the Bulls have set the tone here in the last couple of weeks. I think anytime you have a win like that with a half court shot, and you've beaten the Lakers now twice in the span of the last couple of weeks, that's big, man. Especially the Lakers with that Luka trade and the way they've been playing, and they got all the way up. They were all the way down. I think they had a seed before that trade happened, and then they went all the way up to the top for the top 3 or 4. Now I believe
Yeah,
they're the 4 seed, and it's stuff like that, man. Like half court shots like that for the Lakers. Like when you look
yeah,
at a team like that, that could be deflating for them. Like you don't know how they're going to react to that now. Now they got LeBron James, one of the best basketball players of all time, and an all-star in Luca. So you would think they could rebound from that, but you never know. But when you win a half-court shot like that, not only is that great for the city, not only did you see the atmosphere at the United Center and see how people were going crazy for that. I've watched many videos of that, man. That was cool to watch. But now the Bulls got that momentum going forward. Now I'm like, wait a minute. We beat the Lakers twice now in the last couple of weeks. We can win. We can win with this team. And I think that was the most important. To me, that was the biggest win of the day yesterday. Listen, I love opening day more than anything, but when you're getting here near the playoffs with what 8 or 9 games left, I think that impacted everything. That was the biggest impact for me yesterday.
bro, you're a hard act to follow, but I'm going to do my best because this is what I feel it means to me. And I touch and agree with a lot of those things that you just said, but make no mistake about it, Matt. These are not isolated events. They're a statement for the city of Chicago. When you break down the stats, the Cubs clutch hitting, the White Sox precision on the mound, and the Bulls' relentless drive to win at all costs. And you know what? Here's the thing: that shot isn't as miraculous and isn't nearly as fun unless it's in front of the king. Unless it's
I
in
did
front
notice
of the
that.
king. That is beautiful. I love it. I love
That's
it.
the, that's the first time I've seen that. I didn't realize that LeBron was right there, right in front of him for that
R-
shot.
right in front of him, bro. I mean, I would have called the foul, but I'm a little, yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty
you
close
might,
there, isn't it?
yeah. It's a little close.
I
I
don't
think
think.
that's not a high five.
No, I also don't think they're going to call a foul with a half court shot like that too with LeBron James. I would have been very shocked if they would have called that a foul.
Yeah, what would have been the over and under on that? I bet it would have been
Woo.
less than 2%.
Yeah,
So,
it would probably be less than
but
2%. Yeah.
But like I said, man, every number reinforces that Chicago's on the rise and it's contagious momentum that's like energizing both players and fans alike. And I'm going to tell you something. You talked about, and I'll let you, touch on that again. You talked about how electric it was to a game that didn't really mean a whole lot, except it was opening day. But the energy, the fans, I mean, it was electric. Here's the deal. I feel like, and don't get this the wrong way, because I know somebody already is going to be in the chat giving me a hard time, and that's your job, and I love it. I love you for that, whoever it is, the boo birds out there. Um, um, so 85 Bears. I tell you what, that to this day they talk about how the 84 Cubs and their rise helped motivate them. Okay, and vice versa. Okay. The Bears were also motivating the Cubs too. It goes hand in hand, back and forth, back and forth. And that was a beautiful thing last year in Griffith, where, we did a tribute for the 85 Bears, the 84 Cubs, and we had two, star players from each team. Stoddard was there, okay, from the Sox, okay. And then we had Dan Hampton, and we had two other guys, and I'll let you okay, who do you think was there with the other two guys?
Who?
Do you
Yeah,
remember? Do you remember that? It was a big day for Chicago sports, man. It was a good time.
I'm trying to. Once you say the names out, I remember you doing it. I remember
Bobby
it going on. I don't remember who. I'm drawing a
Bobby
blank. Who else was there?
Bobby Denier
Then that's it. I remember that now. Yeah.
and
Okay.
and and Otis Wilson, bro.
Yeah. Bobby De Niro. That's right. I knew he was there for that.
And I'm gonna tell you what, as far as you could see, all the way down Main Street. I mean, you couldn't see the end. I mean, it went all the way down from Main Street down to freaking 8094. It was crazy. There was probably chairs set up, lawn chairs set up on the expressway. I mean, there was so many people there just to see those guys. But I'm telling you, man, it is something that energizes both players and fans alike. This momentum is contagious. And what the Bears have been doing has been crazy bananas, going and getting the coaches, going and getting the players alike, the offensive line, the defensive line, going to these pro days. There was over 100, and I don't know if you saw the show yesterday, but our guys broke it down really good. Bishop, D Nice, and Keds. They broke down how the OSU Pro Day, Ohio State University Pro Day, had over 150 reps, both GMs, both coaches, and scouts were all there. And it was just amazing to see all that. I think Bishop said like 15, maybe, potential Ohio State players going into the draft. And that's what they were looking at. I mean, it's just crazy. But the fact that Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles were there together excites me, bro. What do you got to say about all this, man?
Yeah, well, I think you're onto something too. I think the Bears, when you're in a city like Chicago, where it's a diehard fan base, where the people are so passionate about every team in this town, doesn't matter which town it is. I think the Bears have kind of started that momentum here in the last year, especially with the hiring of this year of Ben Johnson. And what that says to me when they're there yesterday is how serious they are of making this team a winning team right now. It says to me that we got to fill these pieces. We're not done yet. We signed our free agents. We like where we're going with this, but we're not a finished product. And we need to be out there in front of all of this before the draft here in just a couple of weeks to make sure we know what players or which players that can fit our mold and our system. And I think that was a pretty cool thing to have both of them there yesterday to be on the same page with that. And I think I'm excited to see that. And I'm excited to see what happens with the draft here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, I am too, man. But make no mistake about it. I mean, we're glad you and I can touch and agree on the offensive line, the defensive line. They went out and got some studs, rightfully so. It was needed to be addressed. I mean, hands down, God and everybody could see it. It was crazy. But when they go out and they, get key acquisitions that are, returners and receivers and all this stuff and burners, it lets you know that they're looking at everything, every little thing. They're just they got a magnifying glass and they're taking a look at everything and making sure that all things, and you could see it on Ben Johnson's face. The last presser, he looked exhausted. He looked like he was working. He didn't look refreshed like he had an office job. He looked like he had an office job, but he was the hardest worker in the damn building. And I'm glad that we got him because so far it's been good. And listen, make no mistake about it. Ryan Poles did the same thing when Eberflus first came in. What did he do? He went out and said, okay, you're defensive minded. Go get you some dogs. He went out and got Gordon, and he went out and got Brisker. And to this day, I love both those guys. So listen, here's the deal. I'm so excited about what Ben can do just by on these free agent signings alone and by what they have been able to do with these trade acquisitions. It says to me that, and you know what? I can't figure out who we're going to draft first. I can't figure out whether it's going to be the guy that's arms grew overnight in Will Campbell. I can't figure out, who it's going to be, man. But make no mistake about it. This guy's on the mend and he's healthy, but we got to start looking at what we're going to do as far as him and his due diligence with, getting a little bit of help. We need some help to take care of Caleb, but this draft, This draft is going to be exciting with all the guys that are available. It's going to be a good time. But back to the landscape of Chicago City. Oh my gosh, man. It is really cool. I'm just glad that for one night, I wish the Blackhawks could have played last night. That would have been impossible because the Bulls played, but you know what I'm saying? It would have been cool to see everybody play and win. That would have been so cool. You know what I'm saying, Matt?
You know what else stuck out to me yesterday too, Tracks, is just walking through the tailgates and the parking lots. I stopped at one of the bars, Shinnick's, one of the bars that's on the south side. Um,
Yeah.
I had a couple, but the atmosphere, the energy, like people are just so excited. I think people are just so excited that baseball is back in general because we all love baseball in this town so much. And I know it's more of a Cubs town. I'm not going to ever argue that. But us diehard White Sox fans, man, that live, eat, and breathe this team, I think we're just happy that it's back. And we're happy that we can go to the ballpark and watch a couple of games and decide, hey, if the weather holds up tomorrow, I was just telling you, if the weather holds up tomorrow, I can go on my app, get a ticket for the game, and just go head over there and hang out. You know, it's stuff like that, man, where you can make plans to do stuff like that, and it we're just all passionate sports fans, and that's what Chicago is, man. It's all about passion in this town.
I'll see if I can secure some tickets for if you want to go, man. Because
Oh yeah,
you're in town, you deserve it, man. You're one of the
well, I
hardest workers in the
appreciate that.
building for
I would
Chicago
love that.
Sports Podcast, man. That'd be great. But here's the deal. Uh, let's drill down on the Cubs for a moment, man. With Miguel Amaya's standout game and Justin Steele's impressive pitching, do you think that we're witnessing the start of a new era in Chicago, Cubs baseball? And how does this compare to past seasons for you? Because you touched on that a little bit with the coach. And this is like, I feel like for me, I'm not trying to lead the witness, but this is just how I feel before you unpack it like you always do, man. Unpack everything.
Okay, so
I feel like the first year it's his job to really do his job of unpacking everything with a fine tooth comb, get out the magnifying glass and look at everything he's got, not just on the front end, but on the back end of, his minors, and just really get a good landscape of the farm system. Cause you got to bring those guys up. You got to bring those other guys down, see what you got, go out and grab some guys. And of course, you can't just go out and secure the guys that you always want to go get. There's more in play than that. But my point is, to your point with the Craig Counsell thing, does this feel like there is some notes of him now starting to come out more so now than there was last year?
yeah, Tracks, I'm going to give you another example that stood out to me in yesterday's game too. That
Okay.
I feel like um that this has the effect, the Craig Counsell effect. So we're talking
Yeah.
about Miguel Amaya, and Miguel Amaya hit that 3-run double. It was the 5th inning, but before that, Pete Crow Armstrong, a guy that we're all going to be watching this year. We like his energy, we like everything about him and his craziness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he hustled. He ran from first to second. This was 2 outs. Ran from
Yeah.
first and got all the way to second, beat a throw, forcing that would have been the end of the inning for that. But to his hustle, he beat it out, and then the run started coming after that. And I
Yeah.
was like, man, that was a hustle play. That was a great play by him. He had great speed. That was really, really smart base running. So
Yeah.
I think now that Craig Counsell's got his second year in right now, he's kind of putting his players in place that he likes. Now, granted, did the Cubs get everything that they needed in the offseason? No, they missed. Yeah, now I know people are still a little bit bitter about the Bregman stuff, but I feel like with him and having some of his position players that are intact now,
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to start seeing a lot of plays like that and a lot of players making those type of plays and the hustle. And I think that's the way Craig Counsell plays, man. And with the walks yesterday. So I think everything about that stood out to me yesterday. Now, will that grant it into a first place finish? Will that grant it into a division winner? That's yet to be determined.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see, man. Some of these players, some of their star players, like a Dansby Swanson, has to have a bounce back year this year, I think, in order to do that. But I think it's stuff like that you watch, man, that's got the effect of that. And I think it feels a little bit different to me. I feel like this feels like a little bit of a different team, and this is a team that should win the division.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said with Amaya's clutch hitting. Also, Steele's 90 pitch outing at nearly a 92% ground ball rate signal both confidence and strategic mastery. There's some strategy going on. and, some precision stuff. And when you see that, and when you go back and unpack that, and let's get real, they watch film too. We all talk about football, but guess what? The other sports watch film too. When they go back and watch this and see what's going on, all of them guys out on the field, they don't just feel like they're picking daisies anymore and burning ants with their freaking magnifying glasses and building sandcastles because nothing's happening. They know that they got a stud out there that's freaking got a 92% ground ball rate, and it's coming at you, and you've got a chance to make a play and keep your pitcher and your team in it. And this is freaking team building personified, man. It's reminiscent of the great seasons in Chicago history, only now advanced analytics are providing a modern twist on traditional grit. And that's what you just showed to you. That's what you basically just unpacked to us, Matt. So I appreciate your candid explanation. But now I want to get one from you on your White Sox. Mm-hmm. Sean Burke's turnaround on the mound. That seemed to me, it indicated the tactical evolution in Chicago baseball, dude. Like, that's just something like, dude, your head's in the clouds, your team sucks. You already know, like, just pack it in. Let's just get this over with. This guy had his head on a freaking swivel, man. How significant are plays like that to you, Mr. Matt?
I think it's very significant. You got to remember with Sean Burke too. What I think it was, he only pitched 19 innings last year. It wasn't a lot, not a lot of experience, but you got to give a credit to the coaching staff. I think Ethan Katz is a very underrated pitching coach. I think he's done a very good job. He's been there for all these different managers that have gone through the White Sox organization, and I feel like Ethan Katz has these great relationships with these pitchers, and he works with them, especially with some of the young pitchers. And you could see that yesterday with Burke, and you could kind of see it a little bit in spring training, but you could see his determination. You could see the way he was working the counts. You could see his effectiveness, and you could see him getting ahead on some of the hitters, a lot of the Angels hitters yesterday. And if he continues to pitch like that and have that type of approach, I think it's going to be a very good year for him. Am I expecting him to be a 20-game winner? No. But I could expect them to have some good quality starts, and that's what the White Sox are going to need. They're going to need quality starts because you don't know what you're going to get out of a young bullpen either. And you want these quality starts, at least of 5 or 6 innings from the starting pitchers. So that was very impressive yesterday from Sean Burke. It really stood out to me, man, that this could be somebody that could go in there and give you a quality start.
No, yeah, dude. I tell you what, you hit it right on the head, man. His Burke's adjustments mid-game reflected in his improved pitch selection and commanded his basically a deep understanding of the game. Like, he's figuring it out. He knows what's going on. He's not just throwing it across the plate. Like you said, very tactical, data-driven decisions, what he's doing out there, because what did you say, 19 is all?
I think it was only like 19 innings last year. It was not a lot.
So, I mean, he's already got a big chunk of that right out the gate. So, like I said, data-driven decisions we're seeing now that are benchmarking Chicago sports, man. We're actually looking like masterclass smart city sports out here, man. Like I said, classic determination with modern strategy. We're moving up in today's modern era, man, and it feels good about it. Lastly, brother, that heart-stopping buzzer beater from the Bulls. What's the psychological impact of witnessing such a moment on the court and among the fans for the players and the fans, bro? Please break that down.
Okay, there's a couple, because there's a couple of things that stood out to me yesterday. First off, when you made that shot, dude, and I went on X this morning and I just put in #Bulls because I knew right away all those videos were gonna pop up of the Giddey shot. But I wanted to see more so when you do stuff like that. I wanted to see more so of what the crowd reaction was, because people in the crowd posting their videos and stuff. So I looked at the different videos. Every single person on the videos I watched were up on their feet going crazy. Like, that place, it sounded like a playoff game.
You mean nobody was on their phone? Nobody was on their phone?
Well, there was a few people on their phone.
Oh, well, you know what I'm saying. The majority.
Thankfully, they were, so I could watch the videos.
Right? There you go. I like that.
But Tracks. So not only that, you saw the players go nuts, but go back after the show is done today. Go watch some of that video again. Go look at the Lakers' demeanor after that happened. Because then I started looking at their demeanor. If you want to look at like a complete 180 opposite, I saw their bench and looking at the players on their bench, and they were like in shock. Like they weren't like with their heads down. I just saw players with like their hands over their head, like, what the hell just happened here? Did we really just lose this game? Like you got to go back and look at that, man, because it's crazy to see like it took everything out of them, and they're probably thinking, crap, like we need to win these games. We're in a big, like they're in like a big battle there for like the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Like all those teams in the West out there are in that battle right now. And that's a bad loss, especially for the last couple of games of the season. So it's like a big 180 when you look at the fan, the atmosphere, the electricity, and then you look at the opposing team, man. It was pretty funny to watch.
Bro, I couldn't agree more. And do you want to talk about masterclass? That was a masterclass of breaking it down and watching the other side, the mirror lens of what's going on, looking at them and seeing what they're unpacking. But dude, you want to talk about transformative look into it, man. A buzzer beater like this shifts the entire narrative, Matt. Players gain immense belief in their comeback ability. Fans feel a renewed sense of pride and excitement. Management says, let's go get that dude, because you know what? We're not going to be wasting our money. It's like going out and buying your kid a vet after he crashed a couple Mustangs. Like, what the hell are we doing? Should have started out with a Cavalier or, Yugo or something like that. You know what I mean? Even a Gremlin. You start out on like, a little hoopty, if you will. You don't go out and buy the fancy stuff that they're just going to like waste and not go anywhere. We've already done that before, but you got to be calculative about it also. But I mean, like I said, gaining that immense belief in their comeback ability, fans feel renewed sense of pride and excitement. The advanced stats are there, guys, showing a 15-point surge in offense efficiency in those final minutes. Underscore how critical that moment is and playing in that moment, because listen, make no mistake about it, like the great Matt Cooper, America's finest DJ, just pointed out, bro, we could have been the reciprocal. We could have been the complete 6 of that in the Lakers and what they looked like. I mean, in this video that we're about to unpack and show right before your eyes, and Matt's going to take the lead in, this breakdown and everything, you're going to see Pouty James and the King with the tear ducts that are full and just really bummed out, man. It's great. It's so great. So, like I said, it underscores how critical that moment is in winning those moments. And a lot of those kids out there are young, Matt. They're very young,
It's a young team, man. That's what's been so much fun to watch here the last few weeks. And they be fun to watch again tomorrow night when they take on the Dallas Mavericks.
Ooh, the Mavericks.
It's going to be a fun atmosphere, man. Another fun atmosphere at the stadium.
I bet you they wish they had somebody, but at the same point in time, they just saw us beat that somebody. So
they don't need that person.
With the King to boot, hey, two for one. And a couple days ago, we beat him also. So there's a little something here. It wasn't just luck, guys. But before we move into our final analytics and, feedbacks from our fans, it's time for a visual treat. So get your buttery popcorn, because we got some tracks with tracks. That's right, folks. I'm about to share a highlight video track montage that captures the best moments that we've been talking about from yesterday's epic wins, not epic meltdown, epic wins, guys, in the city of Chicago. Yeah, you heard that right. You don't have to pinch yourself. It really did happen, and we're going to show you the video. The Cubs' explosive plays, the White Sox commanding performance, and the Bulls' miraculous buzzer beater. This video will bring together all the action, passion, and key stats we've been talking about. Get your popcorn, guys. Enjoy the show. Matt, take it away, brother.
Diamondbacks TV. It's the opening pitch night in 2025.
About a lot during our show today, Brandon, about the Cubs and their walks and their timely hitting and the way they scored yesterday.
Right there with a fastball, ring him up and sit him down. Gallons.
And this is courtesy, by the way, too, of the Marquee Network.
And he's got a base hit to start 2020.
It's going to be interesting to see this year, too, because the Diamondbacks are considered one of the better teams in the National League. So this is a very good first series, Tracks. very good first series for the Cubs to see where they can be up against, because I think the Diamondbacks are one of the top 5 best teams in the National League right now. They got a good lineup with a very good starting pitching staff.
That's a good point for people that need to be caught up. You know, this is something that is to be talked about, you know.
Josh Naylor's a big addition for the Diamondbacks, too. He came from the Guardians. He was on the Guardians for the past couple of years. Very impact player. And as you can see right there, the energy of Pete Crow, we talked a lot about him on the show today, about the energy and the passion that he brings and the way that he runs the bases. And I think he's going to be very key for the Cubs this year. Very key on how they score some of their runs.
Down the line in right, and that's in the corner. It'll bring home.
Ian Happ's also going to be a very important piece to this team with his timely hitting, and I'm expecting a pretty good year from him as well. Ian Happ, who you're going to see a minute here, and a little bit here about the impact he's had. How about King Tuck with his first hit as a Cub? Guys, he's going to be good this year. I'm telling you, King Tuck's going to be good. Kyle Tucker.
And Sedona red here tonight. Suarez drives it to left.
How about that crowd at the game yesterday, too? I feel like I see a lot of blue when we're watching this and breaking down the film of the game yesterday. A lot of Chicago Cubs fans.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
See all that blue in the background.
Yes, sir.
Another impact player for the Diamondbacks, too, by the way. Eugenio Suarez, who was with the Reds for so many years. He was then traded to the Mariners, and now he's with the Diamondbacks. Another good player on the team. Defense is going to be key for the Cubs this year, too, guys. I think their defense is going to be very good. I mean, obviously, I think Swanson's going to have a bounce-back year. But not only in their infield, but I think they got some of the best outfield defense in the National League. I think they're going to be right up there.
He is ahead in the count after all 0-2. High chopper way up there. No chance to get Corbin.
But I like the way Justin Steele yesterday, man. First game of the year, I thought he was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
There it is. Ian Happ home run. That was a nice swing, man. Look at this swing.
Yeah.
Not a very good pitch by Gallatin either. He's a very good pitcher. But I really like that, man. That's what you want from Ian Happ this year, man. You want to get some of that power from him. Well, I think it's one of the most popular players on the Cubs. Well, I think he's one of the
Suarez the other way, and a sliding grab by Kyle Tucker.
But a nice play right there.
Nice play.
What I was talking about with the defense in the outfield.
You were just talking about that defense. Look at that.
Kyle Tucker, that's going to be a huge upgrade in right field. I think the Cubs fans are going to notice that, and you already noticed it pretty quick yesterday. Yeah, this is a pretty competitive game, man. How about for the first game of the year? I mean, already in the 4th inning, look with the runs and the way these guys are hitting the ball, man. Like, this is two good offenses. So it's going to be fun to watch again tonight. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Shout out to the groundskeeper, man. That guy in Arizona, he knows how to dial it up with them stripes, man. Look at the stripes in the grass.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yep.
No Sodfather look we have on the south side, but it's pretty good.
No, you guys
Guys, another big, we have a lot to talk about the series in Japan. Don't forget also, we didn't have Nico Horner playing in those games, so it was pretty key watching him play yesterday.
Any pitch that's up in your eyes looks like a balloon floating up there.
Funny that it hits him right on the leg there, isn't it? How often does that happen?
Center field.
Yeah.
Can't get it. It was off.
Oh.
Bush scores. Crow Armstrong coming in. Shaw will score.
That was a nice hit, too. Probably should have caught that ball, huh, Trex?
Oh, yeah.
He just misjudged it, or maybe he didn't. Let's see here.
He was running fast. It went right into his palm, man. He didn't catch it in the net.
I feel like that was just bad luck.
Yeah. So he's running pretty fast, too.
Yeah.
Not sure what he would have did afterwards. He's like, hey, bro, my bad.
Bounce to first. Bush goes to short. Swanson does
Look at this play by Swanson, by the way.
Bro.
That wasn't a very good throw, and Swanson made a quick play.
That's that defense you're talking about, bro. Don't give up.
3-2. There, just can run.
Own the moment.
Recurring theme all night long.
Nice hit.
McCarthy, fly to right. Tucker backpedaling,
Pearson
still
on the mound.
backpedaling, and he's got it on the warning track. Moreno will tag. Suarez
Definitely a pretty safe lead at this point for the Cubs. At this point, you're just trying to get some work in.
First one to say my bad on that.
Here's Amaya.
Gets the strikeout, looking good here.
The strikeout. He's going to strike out sometimes too with Amaya, but I like the way I like. He's played a little. I think he's going to be a very, very good catcher. I'm excited to see what kind of year he's going to have.
Corbin sends one to center, but Crow Armstrong, he can chase him down out
well,
there.
This is a lot to unpack here. These highlights, it's a lot of work for baseball.
Yeah, man.
He's doing a great job.
And to make it to where you get like all the meat, you know, and don't leave anything on the bone, you know.
Bryce Jarvis
you know what's going to be interesting this year is seeing Suzuki as a designated hitter. Don't forget he was the right fielder last year.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sometimes that can be difficult to do when you're only as a DH hitter and you're being out of your position to play all the time. That you've been playing forever.
Then get him with a sweeper away, and that's the first out of the game.
But very competitive game last night.
Already in the 8th.
Oh, yes.
About to travel to the south side here in a little bit.
I think Presley's going to be key for this team this year. It looked a little shaky yesterday. I know they had the big lead and everything, and you're not being as tight with some of your pitches at that point. But don't forget, Presley's the guy they traded from the Astros. So you're looking for a big year out of him too.
Somewhat that we cannot overlook is that backup in the outfield. You know, those moments will happen, but you can't let it explode on you. You know?
But a very impressive win for the Cubs last night, and they'll play again tonight. Now we change to the White Sox, a game that I was well.
Yes, the HSN and Major League Baseball. Thanks for that. That's a good point there.
So yeah, I was right. I was right on the dot there, man. It was 19 innings last year. He pitched 19 innings last year. Sean.
Bro, look at you.
I thought it was 18 or 19, and I couldn't remember, and I was like, it was somewhere close to that.
You're dialed.
Drives one out toward left center field. Roberts chasing it. He's out near the wall. It's off the wall.
Yeah, this is what you were talking about earlier, Tracks too, with the first inning, where it was a little shaky. And it's crazy too to see how far that ball flies out. When you're sitting there in the first couple of rows, and they get a hold of that ball, man, it flies out of there pretty fast.
So he does his job, in Ron Washington's opinion.
And I think what's going to be key here, after he gets out of the city, is how he settles down and how he does get out too. And this is a big at bat on how he got out, and he ended up hitting Mike Trout right on the wrist. But I believe right after this is when Soler comes up, and I think he struck out. We'll have to see the highlights here, but I couldn't remember. But I remember it was one of the bigger strikeouts too. Maybe it was Soler a little bit later in the game. Yeah, Jorge Soler.
One of their first moves in the offseason was to trade.
It's a big free agent signing for the Angels too. Jorge Soler. He was on the Braves last year, former Cub player. But yeah, that was a big strikeout. That's right, and he got him there with runners on first and third with one out, and that's great for a young pitcher too to get into a situation like that. And here you were talking about Tim Anderson a little bit earlier, Trex. Massive applause. A lot of people.
He was for a while.
I think Tim Anderson struck out 3 times yesterday too. I think it was 3 times yesterday.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, man, he brought a lot of the energy to the White Sox, man. Maybe it was his time to go, but we all every Sox player and everybody was up on their feet giving him a round of applause.
Yeah.
And I believe this might be the time where Robert gets a big. I think this is. Yeah, I thought this was a home run, by the way. It looked like when we were sitting in the States, it was a home run, but it got right off the wall. It just missed it. It's going to be key this year, Tracks, for Luis Robert to have a bounce back year, to stay healthy, have a bounce back year, because I don't know if he's going to be on this team by the trade deadline.
I don't know, man. If you got the right skipper, you might see guys actually stay instead of move, you know?
Or if we put some wins together, or maybe that's a guy they want to build on. I think another big one is going to be for this guy, Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's a first-round pick. He's a first-round pick, and he just hasn't lived up to it. And I like Andrew Vaughn, man. I like the way he plays, but he just hasn't lived up to the expectations of what he was supposed to be so far. So he's another guy to keep an eye on this year. There's Austin Slater, who's, I think, 31, 32 years old. He's a stopgap player. He was playing right field yesterday. I believe he was on the Giants last year. He was also on the Orioles at some point. So it was pretty cool to see a home run. Who had Austin Slater hitting the first home run for the White Sox this year?
Slate Dog setting off the pyrotechnics with his bat, baby.
That was a nice swing, man. He got all of that.
The pitchers are
Good player, Lee. Going to be starting most of the games this year behind the plate.
Second and third for the Sox, and here's
And
Vargas, who was caught looking.
This is Miguel Vargas. This is the guy we talked about earlier, Tracks, that we traded for Michael Kopech. And he's going to be the starting third baseman, and hoping for a pretty good year out of him, too. He could be a solid player. He could be a solid player at that position. And that's one of the young guys to keep an eye on.
Didn't go the Sox way last year.
Well, there's been a couple of breaks early, which is a really nice sign.
Very choked up a little bit. Got a nice.
I'll tell you what. There he goes again. Hands up. Disappointed himself.
Still on the mound as we enter this top
Watch closely on how these visuals complement every stat that Matt and I naturally broke down earlier. All the analytics, man. This is actually some. I'm enjoying this a lot. This is fun.
Oh man, this is great, and it's cool to see this too. Because I was at the ballpark yesterday, so it's cool to even see some footage of even Sean Burke pitching. Hammer and everything.
Hey, did you get any Garrett popcorn yesterday or Chicago dog?
I had a bratwurst. Man. Bratwurst. I had some mustard. I had some grilled onions. It was delicious.
Wait. You didn't say nothing about ketchup.
Oh no, man! Not a bratwurst. You don't put ketchup in a bratwurst, do you?
I know. I'm glad you passed the test, bro.
If anybody when anybody in the chat comment on that too, man, I'm like, I believe I'm right on that. But I think we're right on that, right?
No, you're totally right, dude. That's not the Chicago way. I'm just saying. You want to bring the boo birds out? You want to bring the boo birds out? Talk about ketchup on a hot dog or a brat. Because to me, a brat is still a hot dog. It's in the hot dog family. You know, you don't call. I mean, you might call a poodle like a miniature poodle, or not in the same dog family as a Labrador or a freaking Rottweiler or something like that. But it's still a dog. I believe it's still a dog.
It's still a dog. And even Italian. I almost had Italian dog. Same thing, man. I don't put ketchup on any of that.
No. Do you like the Chicago style dog with all the vegetables?
I almost got green pepper on it, but I decided.
Okay. Had to behave.
By the way, Mike Clevenger back with the team this year too, man. Kind of something I wasn't expecting, but he had a big way to get into this inning, striking out Tim Henderson there, man. I don't know what Tim Henderson did out there. That was high.
Striking out Soler, I like that. You know what? You can strike out Soler for, he likes to strike high.
Oh, yes, he does. He could certainly hit a home run, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure, bro.
So this is what I alluded to earlier, Brandon, with Andrew Benintendi, who was hurt for a lot of the spring training. So he was back as a designated hitter yesterday, knocks out that home run. Hopefully a better year for Andrew Benintendi this year. To him, admitting it, too, saying that he didn't play very well last year. So this is going to be a big year for him, especially nearing the end of his career. He's still got a little bit left in him. And he's trying to play possibly for a contender later on. So if he gets off to a good start, that's somebody to keep an eye on by the trade deadline.
Bro, you are magical breaking down. Anytime I do these highlights, I'm going to bug you. I'm going to be like, Matt, wake up. We got some work to do. This is great, dude. This is great. I'm having fun.
Yeah, this is a blast, man. I think it's a blast, too, that I get to see her talk about the White Sox knocking out home runs, too.
Shout out to Lenyn Sosa. I know this could be like, you could be like, this is torture. You hate me, Tracks. But no, this is a good one for you to, hey, listen, dude. I could have waited until, if I was a really dirty, nasty, Cubs fan, I could have waited till, you guys stunk up the joint,
Yeah, not much to talk about then.
No.
I love hearing John Shiffrin and Steve Stone on the calls of these games, too. So it's also good to hear the announcers back.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you, but Kurt Bloom has stepped down.
Oh, I didn't know that. He's no longer with Birmingham, huh?
Yeah, he moved on. He said it was time. So
yeah, I did not know that. He was always really nice. He's always really good to us on the show here, man.
Oh yeah, you were out there in his neighborhood not too long ago.
Yeah, I got to go check in the game and stuff, man. That was really cool.
Yep.
It was cool hearing Josh Giddey and Cubs announcing as well.
Here we go. Moving on to the Bulls game.
So these last 12 seconds to me are insane. First off, watching him wide open for a three. This is the key for me, is watching LeBron James, man, with all those years. What is he doing there? And a big shot for what? Like, I'm not going to sit here and criticize him. LeBron's one of the greatest players of all time. But, dude, is it not me? Was that the key to the game? Pretty much the end of that game right there.
Yeah.
He knows it too, man. You can tell with LeBron's
down there. That was awesome.
Did you see him, man? He knew it too. He's just like,
yeah.
What the hell did I just do?
Yep.
You big dummy. You big dummy.
What a call too, man. That's a great design right there from Billy Donovan, man. That's a
bad pass by James, and Kobe.
And how about the awareness of Giddey right now, knowing that White was right behind him in just a span of like a second?
Giddey, 10 steal against the Lakers this season, and Kobe
Nice
White
steal.
squares up.
How
Bang.
fast that ball came down.
Boom.
Like that.
15 points in the third.
Bang, bang.
Bulls Nation.
Love it. I got y'all
Look at
fired
the
up.
crowd,
on
dude.
it,
They're
man.
talking about all on their feet,
It's
man.
real.
Dude. You gotta let him do that. You're paying top dollar down there on the bottom, you know.
This
Shout out
is
to
pretty CHSN as
CHSN.
well.
Shout out to CHSN and the NBA.
Watch
The right to
LeBron
for this
James,
video.
please. Spin out to the basket. Watch him.
And here they are. So the Lakers also a great play here and come back and take the lead of the game,
Here's Reeves. Reeves straight to the cup. Lays it in to take the lead.
which was a beautiful play too. Now here we go. And we were talking about this earlier, Trex. It's like he knew it, man. He was like the right position.
Yep.
And look at, man,
Yeah.
the crowd. Look at just the energy of the crowd of that game, dude. It was insane.
They're all carrying him.
They kept showing that video of that fan, man. A lot of Lakers, dude. You look around that stadium too, man. There were a lot of Lakers fans in that game.
Yeah. Great point.
They have a big fan base, man, and they're all over the place. So
Oh yeah.
look at not one person on their seat, man. Everybody going insane, man, for that play,
Yeah.
and it was just so cool. And
Embrace this.
I'm ready. I can't wait to watch the game tomorrow night now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I tell you what, guys, welcome back, everybody. And I hope you enjoy that highlight video as much as Matt and I did. Now let's dive into some of our advanced analytics and fan feedback. Our data dashboards are lighting up with key performance indicators from exit velocities and launch angles to clutch win probabilities and offensive efficiency ratings. Make no mistake about it. The eye test never lies, man. The tape never lies, and we're glad that we were able to show you some tape. So fans on social media are calling this the renaissance of Chicago sports. I mean, it's crazy, guys. It's a sentiment and echoed by respected voices throughout the community. So what do you got to say about social media sentiments analysis showing 40% increase in positive fan engagement after these wins, Matt? Isn't it great?
It's happy to see that, maybe, because I feel like sometimes as sports fans in general, we get a lot of the negative reaction out there, and we see it all the time, no matter what. I mean,
Yeah.
just go watch the Lakers' responses yesterday to some of their social media, man. It wasn't great. But when you have winning teams and you have in big games like this that happen, man, it puts that positive vibe into you. And I'm always a positive person to begin with, but I feel like some of the people that always want to be the negative person, they come back and they feel that excitement again to get away from that. And if we get more stuff like that, Tracks, I think it'll be better off for a lot of us.
I agree, man. You know, it's a powerful moment in our city, and our city needed it. Chicago isn't just playing games, man. It's creating history right now. Every statistic, every play, and every cheer. It's a testament, bro, to our relentless passion and determination, man. So as we head into the final minutes of today's show with myself and Matt Cooper, we want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive in our victories that have defined our city. From the baseball diamonds to the hardwood, Chicago spirit shines brighter than ever, Matt.
Yeah, man. We don't get days like that very often, do we? We had all that happen yesterday with all three teams and the way that we won, like some domination with the baseball teams and the way the basketball went down, man. You take that all in. Like, remember stuff like that, guys, because that stuff doesn't come along all the time.
Dude, I tell you what, it's been an honor to break down these monumental moments with you, Matt. I'm so glad you were there to break down the highlight reels and the tape brought to you by CHSN, brought to you by the Marquee Network. I mean, the NBA, the MLB, guys. Thank you guys so much for that highlight reel. All the love and the video goes to you, man. But here's to many more nights of unforgettable Chicago sports, man. I'm excited. I feel like I'm like revived again, man. I feel like I went to a sports revival. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for you, and thank you to our listeners. Keep your radios tuned, your stats loaded, and your hearts full of Chicago pride, man. This has been Chicago Sports on Tracks, where every play, every stat, and every moment is a tribute to our city's relentless energy, guys. Until next time, Matt Cooper, Brandon Tracks Hiatt, we're signing off with passion and energy in a great Chicago sports fan way, guys. Peace.
Bye, guys.